Hey everybody, Liz here with Liz Swan Creative Balance.
Hi, Russ here. How's everybody today?
Today we are talking about
Passion.
passion. And to start us off, because anyone who knows me, one of my passions is cards.
Some of us wouldn't really call it a passion versus maybe
An addiction?
an addiction, and there needs to be a
Intervention?
intervention.
So I received some new cards today. I really like Chris Ann's cards, by the way. I have her Light Seer Tarot deck. And one thing that's really interesting about this deck, what's your soul creating, is it has the four element signs. So creator earth, if you can see that. I don't know if you can. And creator water. Yeah. Creator fire. And creator air. And for the purpose of today's conversation, Russ and I have chosen two cards out of this deck. The first card is
First card is, what does your soul say? So in passion, what does your soul say? What drives you to like what you like? And do you listen to your soul in trying to find out what your passion is?
and our second card is choose who you are becoming. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
And that is along the same lines as passion as well. So when we talk about passion, when we're talking about passion, as people will say, I want to do my passion. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. One of the interesting things about doing your passion, whatever that may be, is I know you've seen this posted many times. There's memes about it and all kinds of things. However, it's very true. If you are doing something that you are passionate about, are you willing to do it for free?
Hmm. And that's a really good question to ask yourself, too. Because if your passion happens to be something that you want to make money at, then that may be something you would like to ask yourself. Am I willing to do it for free? And in energy work, a lot of us, that's the way we start off. We start doing sessions or doing it for family members or that type of thing for free. And then all of a sudden you realize, hey, I really like doing this. This can be something that I can do, you know, and then it starts from there.
And it's important to understand that when we talk about doing our passion and making a living at it, for instance, if you have a session that's an hour and a half, and that's what the person has booked, and you're charging them for the hour and a half, and you find as you're in this session that it's going to be a 2 hour, maybe 2.5 hour session, how comfortable are you in understanding that two things can happen here? You can charge for the extra hour, absolutely. Or are you adding this extra hour because this is what is required, and because of who you are and how you are of service to others, you will allow that extra time at no cost?
Hmm.
Something to consider.
Something to consider.
So think about what it is about doing your passion. Do you even know what that is?
Yeah. So then, of course, you may be asking yourself, well, how do I find what my passion is? Because a lot of times we get, when we're doing readings and that type of thing, somebody will come along and say, I want to do my passion, or I want to find out what my passion is. Questions that you sort of have to ask is, all right, What do you like to do? What do you enjoy doing? Um, are you willing to take further studies in it? Are you do you want to just do it because it feels good for you, i.e., going out in the garden or during the spring and summer and fall and digging in there? Is gardening a passion? You know, it may be asking that question for yourself or for your clients may be a whole lot simpler than what we make it to be. Because they may already know, but they haven't realized that they're not putting the word passion to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So Russ spoke about going outside and being in the garden. Are you a type of person that enjoys being outside in your garden, growing flowers, maybe growing vegetables, and when people come by, you say, "Here, have some flowers. Here, have some vegetables"? Is that your passion? Is that what brings you joy? Is that what makes your heart sing? Is this something you would do without any money? Is this something that you would do?
Is it something you would do to give from the heart?
Yeah. What drives our passion is understanding that it's something that we wish to do no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have a secondary job in order for you to do your passion? Do you have something that you do to earn money in order for you to do what you love? When our perceived passion is a job as opposed to a calling or a burning desire in your being to do, that's not really your passion. Your passion has to be that burning desire. Your passion has to be that this is what I want to do no matter what. And if you can make money at it, 2 thumbs up.
Bonus.
However, starting out, maybe you don't. And if you call your passion a job, then that's what it is. Maybe it's not your passion. Maybe it's your job.
Yeah, could be. And you could also have more than one passion. You know?
Absolutely.
One of my passions is sales. I've done sales for years, but it's something I enjoy. It's something that I know I'm good at, but there's something about selling great products to people who want them and will use them and they get something out of it. You know, that's because you're not in sales. Another passion of mine, which a lot of you know, is photography. I love photography. When I'm out there shooting, I feel that time slows down for me. It really does. Because
It really does.
I'm I'm in that mode of doing something that is so fulfilling for me. Even if I don't get the shot or the shots that I think I should or want, or just because, the clouds or weather didn't cooperate that day, whatever. You know, I'm still out there. I still have a camera in my hand and I'm still taking pictures. And I really, truly love doing that.
And now some of you may think with that question, because of course Russ was saying he's out there, is his passion actually being outside, or is his passion taking photos, doing photography? One of the things that Russ also loves to do is teach
Mm-hmm.
and help other people learn and understand photography in many ways, many, many ways. And that is something that is so strong within his heart that he loves so much, is watching other people create beauty from what they've learned.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those, it's one of the best things as a teacher. And it doesn't matter if it's a photography or whatever, to see your students see that light bulb moment go on and say, oh, I get it. Or you see the growth when you've taught somebody the basics and they run with it. I'm very proud of everyone that I've taught photography to, because I've seen a lot of them go on and continue shooting and grow, and the photos that they started out with and then the photos they're taking now are just, there's such a major difference. But I know I had a small part in that, in playing and teaching them what to look for and how to use their camera.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, Russ would teach classes and they'd be 2-hour classes.
Yeah.
And he'd be there for 3 hours.
Yep.
They'd do a photo walk to do part of the class and he'd be gone for 3 to 4 hours. And it was supposed to be maybe an hour photo walk with an hour in class. This is passion. This is him taking this extra time because that's what fulfills him. And this is how it makes him feel inside of being of service, helping people learn and be able to create beautiful things. He has no problem taking that extra time. That's passion.
Yeah. Discovering your passion, discovering what you, starts with discovering what you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
It could be drawing.
Mm-hmm.
It could be
Writing.
writing.
It could be topiary.
It could be, yeah. It could be going out and discovering what different types of rocks are out on the river. It could just, you know what I mean. Really, honestly, it could be just so many things. Discovering your passion is discover what you like to do and build on that.
Love to do.
Love to do. Yes.
I like to do lots of things.
Yeah, true.
I don't love to do lots of things.
True.
And the thing of it is, too, is when we talk about doing your passion, this is something that you just want to do it. There's no other word for it. You want to do this, period. You don't know how, you don't care how. You pretty much, I want to do this. And you make it happen or not. That's up to you. If you want your passion to become your lifestyle, then create a space for that to fall in.
Mm-hmm.
Create the space for this to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and really understand that when you are doing something that is your passion, a lot of things that you thought were important before are no longer that important.
Yeah. And the other thing you'll discover too is that once you start doing just once you start creating that space, the roadblocks that you thought were there are honestly not there anymore. Because what the universe does and hears and says to you, okay, you and I are finally talking. Let's continue.
You're ready.
Get ready, because I'll take you on that ride.
And you'll also find that some of those perceived blocks or challenges were all up there.
Yes.
The what ifs.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
Honestly, the why should I or I can't, honestly, those words will trip you up every time. And as far as I'm concerned, do it. If that's what you want to do, find the words and the language that propel that positivity. Because if you run into a challenge and you're like, oh, I don't think I can do this. Why not? Why not? Try. We can fail so well, us humans. We're really good at it.
Yeah, we're good at it.
We're awesome at failing. What I want you to do is become awesome at succeeding. So when we do our passion, find a way to succeed. You can do it. I believe you. I believe in you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. And when we're saying, just go do it, we're not saying quit your job tomorrow because you want to follow your passion. I mean, that's great if you can, please do. But it's all about the small steps. You want to paint. Okay. Take some classes. Or if you've already done that and for whatever reason you've stopped, start again. Go to the art store, get the canvas, get the paints, set up a small area, in your house or in your home, and just take it and start. Just do something, paint something, even if it's just the window pane that you're looking at, because again, when you do that, your soul hears you, it sees you, and it looks and sees that this is what you want to do. This is where you want to be expressing yourself. And you know that your heart is saying, this is it. Like we said, it doesn't have to be the full-time thing. We all realize we have to make money. But the thing is that when you're not doing the regular job, if you can do the passion, really, this is what work-life balance begins to become into effect. And it really does change how you look at the universe, how you look at your world.
And when you have taken the time to start creating your passion and you move forward with it, you may find that your passion now becomes what you do, and that's your world, and you're making money at it now, and you're doing well. And that full-time job that you had to support you until you got to this point, well, maybe you don't need it anymore. But realize that when we start to follow our passion, it's not as simple as dropping everything to do something else. It's not always that simple. Sometimes it can be, but not always. And understanding that within yourself, that we are the first person who will find a barrier before anybody else.
Yeah.
Anybody else.
Yeah.
And the people who tell you you are nuts and crazy for doing what you do, that's them not understanding. And sometimes it's people that want to follow their passion, but they don't know how. And sometimes it's that piece in them that goes, well, they're following their passion, and that really sucks because I can't follow mine. But they're using a word in that sentence that's restricting, and that's the word can't.
Yeah.
We can all follow a passion, whatever that may be. Being mindful of our abilities and understanding that these things take time, and our patience and our fortitude to go forward is what will get us there. Also, if you have a great support team around you, friends, family, spouses, spousal equivalents, partners, whatever you want to call them, that's fabulous, because those people are going to be your cheerleaders. They're the ones that are going to pick you up when you start failing and feeling that failing feeling. Because remember, as you feel that fear and that maybe that fear of failure, that's usually right before something great happens. And that's where you have a choice on that precipice. Are you going to leap off that precipice and go, here I go? Or are you going to step back from it?
And that precipice, because you think of the word precipice, you think of this this huge empty space, long way down type thing. The precipice could be as easy as taking that step and buying the canvas
Mm-hmm.
and brushes and the oils or the
Paints.
paints. It could be as easy as buying 2 decks of oracle cards because your passion happens to be you love reading cards for people,
Mm-hmm.
right? It could be as easy as planning out what you're going to plant in your garden this coming season,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So the precipice doesn't necessarily have to be a huge thing. It can be a very small thing, but it's still a precipice. It's still something that you have to take that step and go, yes, I want to do this.
And trust it.
And trust it. That's really important to
Mm-hmm.
trust it.
And it's interesting because when we talk about stepping off the precipice, do you trust if you step off the precipice that you will fly? Maybe you think you're going to fall. Maybe you don't think there's a net. I challenge you on that. When you step into greatness, there is always some degree of fear. And yet, so many people have taken that step into greatness, regardless of the fear.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Gesundheit. That greatness, by the way, that greatness, by the way, yeah. Oh, are you? Today can be, it doesn't have to be something that's going to be saying that you're going to become famous and have, affect the thoughts and feelings of millions of people. The greatness could be that whatever you do, and I'm going to go back to painting again, the painting that you do could bring some very real happiness to a friend you know,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or to a family. It could be as simple as when you're reading the cards. Could be as simple as, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. Thank you very much for letting me know about that. So the greatness is not it can be very true. It can be something very huge and great and, stupendous. For most of us, though, it's going to be the circle around us and who we have contact with. Because what happens is that contact grows,
Mm-hmm.
is what happens. And then that's how things become better and greater and stupendous and that type of thing. But if it never happens, just know that you are doing something that you love to do. And the people that you give things to or that you sell to know that and they feel that. And
Mm-hmm.
that in turn gives them that good energy.
When you come from a place of heart.
When you come from a place of heart.
And greatness can also be overcoming the fear of doing your first reading in public.
Right?
Right?
Right. Yes. I remember when I taught one of my first classes that I was getting paid for. I had 15 students. And the first half hour I was standing up in front of this class going, why am I doing this? And why are these people listening to me? But what happened was that after that first half hour, they started asking questions and I started getting into it. And it was by the end of the 2.5 hours, I loved it. I loved what I was doing. It just, we were having a great time. Um, and everybody came back the next week, which was even better.
And to put that in perspective for you, he was panicking. He was at home panicking. What if? What if? What if? And he was projecting into the future things that had not yet come to be. And he was putting himself into a state of anxiety. So, on that note, when you are doing things, be present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When we start projecting into the what ifs or any of that, we start to put ourselves in a place of stress. And if you're in a place of stress, then when you first start, you're going to be a little wound up a bit. So take a breath. Breathing's awesome. Breathing moves energy. Breathing keeps us alive. So breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had at work, I work for the camera store, if you don't know that. And before pre-COVID, we used to have Saturday morning talks. We'd have photographers come in and talk about their speciality and how they shoot and that type of thing. And there's a lot of times that we would bring in photographers that aren't really that well known. And we would, I would talk to them the before the workshop or before people started coming in. They'd say, I just don't know how it's going to go. I'm nervous. And it was like, just like Lisa said, okay, so now what you have to do is, first thing you have to do is breathe. And they'd go, what? Breathe, just breathe. It will be okay. Just talk about what you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're not here to judge you.
And if people are coming to see you, it's because you're who they want to see.
Yes, that's right. And remember that, because
Mm-hmm.
it is important.
Yes. So we are almost at the half-hour mark already. Passion is a great topic. Doing your passion, creating your passion, being your passion, living your passion.
Yes. Doing your passion, living your passion is an excellent way to create life balance. And you can really honestly do some great things for yourself, for the energy around you. And you would be surprised how much it really does affect you when you start doing and start working towards your passion.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. So thank you for joining us today to talk about passion. Next week,
Next week.
pre-Valentine's Day, we are going to talk about relationship.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. When we started these videos, we started talking about the relationship that we have in working with energy and that type of thing. We're going to get into relationships a little bit deeper this time. What they look like, what maybe they should look like, and
Some misconceptions.
and misconceptions, and that type of idea. It's one thing that we have a lot of discussion about in some of our classes, even if they're only 5 to 10 minute short things, but it is a very interesting subject. The other thing that I would like to say is that a few weeks back, actually now a month and a week, we did a free pull one card type thing for people. And we have set a date for that. And that is going to be
February 24th.
February 24th. And we're going to switch the time up. It's going to be at 7 p.m.
Mountain Standard Time.
Mountain Standard Time. So, so we look forward to seeing you next week. And then, of course, for the one card reading.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for being here and
stay curious.